We're going to give people a few minutes to come on. Hi, Teresa. How are you tonight? It's going to be live with Stacey. Elba is incognito tonight. So it's going to be live with me. How is everybody? Today has been a heck of a day. It has been a Thursday. Let me just see if this is good. Not very good. Better? Better. Lighting's a little bit off. Hi, Teresa. Thanks for joining us. Ah, there we go. There we go. Teresa, are you out of the hospital? Did you get out? Are you feeling better? Yay! I have several post-COVID patients. Some of them not doing so hot, and others do really well. So I hope you're one of the ones that do really well. Yay. We're going to give everybody a few more minutes. Thank you for joining us. I actually can see comments tonight, and I'm glad, because I had problems with that. I have lots of new things coming in the next couple of weeks. I did get notification from Free Spirit that the new Tula Pink Daydreamer line will be coming in, and that should start shipping. They said November 10th, and they're going to start from the West Coast to the East Coast. So I'm kind of in the middle. I don't know when for sure we'll get it, but it's going to be a beautiful line that she's done with flamingos. I can't wait. I love flamingos. I'm going to show you something. Let me get something. I'm just getting something to share with y'all. Okay, back. Sorry. Wasn't very well prepared there. Hi. Whoever else is on, say hi. So we know you're here. And I hope everybody had a good Thursday. I've decided I don't like Thursdays. I used to think it was Mondays, but I about decided Thursday's the worst day of the week. So you're going to have to pardon my mess. I've actually been back here sewing. You can see these are some scraps. These are actually scraps I have left over from the block of the month that I'm working on. I have a few more blocks done. This is that Julie Herman Jaybird quilts, the Nebula quilt that I'm working on, block of the month. I'm supposed to be working on the background this month, but I'm a little bit behind. So I've got 6 months of the blocks done. I actually was working on block 7. I'll show you this. It's a wonky block. It's ready to put the 2 pieces together and complete it, and then I have a second one to make. You make 2 blocks for every month, and there's 9 months, so there's going to be a total of 18 blocks, and it makes a big star. It's going to be a big, huge quilt. I gave myself a year, because I'm slow that way. First time doing a block of the month. First time doing something complicated like that. Started off, I'm also participating in her, she's doing a monthly quilt along. This month we were doing rock candy. This is the week that we're sewing it all together. Next week we'll start quilting it. I've put one together. I'm going to put another together, and then I'll show you them as I quilt them. It's the one that has all the bright colors and the black background. The next one that she's going to start, which would be, I'm going to say if this is November, in December is going to be Nourish. It is like a Lone Star quilt almost. Does not have any Y seams. And the way that it goes, there's a Facebook group that you can join, or I'm going to do it, and I'll post our videos too as we go. Isn't that beautiful? And you can see, you can make 3 different sizes, a baby, a lap, or a king size. There's no Y seams. Those are the seams that nobody likes to do. So December, the first week in December, I think it is, that what we'll do is we'll talk about picking fabrics to use for it. The baby quilt takes 4 fabrics, the lap quilt takes 8, and the king takes 12. I believe that the cover photo is a queen size. And then back here you can see there's a little baby one with only 4. So I want to encourage anybody that wants to join along with this. That's going to be the next one. I'm going to do it. You know, I just can't leave it well enough alone. I got to get project after project going. And then I'll show you my fabric selection when we get to that point. But we got to finish this other one first. I'm actually going to finish it before I start this one. If anybody's interested, I do have patterns for both in the shop, and I will help you with fabric selection. I don't know if you're aware, but I will cut fabric as small as a fat quarter. If you order, when you go on the website and it says yardage, if you actually, there's a little drop down menu and it'll say quarter yard, half yard, or full yard. If you order a quarter yard, I will cut that as a fat quarter, which is half the width, 18 inches in length, and half the width, which is usually 22, 23 inches, depending on the width of the fabric. If you don't want it cut that way and you want the true 18 inches in length, you need to let me know. Otherwise, I will cut it as a fat quarter. I will cut fat quarters. A lot of these quilts can use fat quarters. This baby quilt actually uses quarter yards instead of fat quarters. But I find that you can pretty much do anything with fat quarter. Fat quarters are really useful. I have showed this in the past, and if anybody's interested in it, I'll be happy to send one out to you of what you can make with what a fat quarter will yield. It talks about how many squares you can make, how many strips, the number of squares that you can make, and the size of them. So you'd be surprised. A fat quarter, you can do a lot more with a fat quarter than you can a quarter of a yard in a quilt. Love fat quarters. Have lots of them. So, hi Kimberly. Where are you from, Kimberly? Hi Gina. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hi Cheryl. Hi Annette. Thank y'all for joining. I have a couple of new, no Annette. Hi Sharon. No Annette, that's not for advanced quilters. You would be surprised. Julie Herman's patterns are a lot easier than you think. They just look complicated, but they're really not. Okay, everybody knows me knows I love crackle fabric. Oh, God. In the Beginning has some of the best crackle fabric out there. I had 2 bolts in the other day. I was not expecting these until January. They told me they weren't going to be in until January. Look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? I have one that's blues and lavenders. This one's blues and greens. It's got pale blue in it. I don't know if you can see the colors really well. It is gorgeous. This is $12.50 a yard, and it has a very good hand. This would make a beautiful quilt back, blenders. Goes with a lot of what I have in the shop. It goes a lot with the In the Beginning fabrics. I also have another one. Are you ready? Annette, you're going to love this one. This is a very neutral, I want to call it an off-white. It's not quite a cream. It's off-white. It's got a little bit of gold in here. There's a little bit of like a sagey green effect to it. But it's a beautiful piece of fabric. And it's also from In the Beginning. So I have lots of that. what I've got coming next week is a whole line of black and white fabrics. So that will be something that you might be interested in. Nothing is playful as black and white in a bright color. You can make something really cute, whether it's a baby quilt or a quilt for an adult, that kind of thing. So I'm going to put that there. Yes, Annette, that would work for the back of your bird quilt. It sure would. It would work very well for the back of your bird quilt. Yeah, I really like the crackle fabrics because it goes with a lot. Works really good. So what's everybody working on? What is anybody working on? Sharon? You usually got something going. And if you're interested in this sheet, just let me know and I'll email you a copy of it. I will happily do that. Drop an email, let us know. Okay? Unfortunately, without the tablet, I can't take you around the fabric shelves like we usually do. If there's anything that you're looking for color-wise or that you would like to see, I'll happily march it over here to the camera, because the camera is a stationary camera. It's not portable. I've only got about that much cord on it. So hopefully we'll get that fixed in the future. You're taking a break before the Christmas rush. This block 7 that I did in the greens, I'm going to show you these are all Tula Pink fabrics. We like Tula Pink around here. This is going to be what's in the next block 7. So if you've ever thought about, this is actually purple, and I see it's coming off blue and green. It's actually a lavender. This is too. This is in the purple family. But it looks blue on the camera. That's weird. Not blue. This is purple. So, that's funny. Too funny. Yeah, these are gorgeous colors. I wish we had everything of hers in stock. We may eventually get there. It's just going to take a while. I'm going to show you how generous. That one's in there. That one's in there. To show you. And I even made a mistake in cutting. So, you think it's for advanced people? Look, I cut all of these wrong. These half triangles. I cut them all the wrong direction. But look how much. This is my scraps from that block. There's enough here to probably make another block. So when you get some of these pre-cut quilt kits, you may think, oh, I'm not going to have enough fabric. Yeah, you will. You'll have lots of leftovers. That's what this container's full of, is full of leftovers for these fabrics from this sew-along. Liking the sew-alongs. Think about joining this one. We could all do it together. We could do it in the spa. If you've joined our page, the spa, we can have a group. We can help one another with it. Like I said, we can make that little bitty baby quilt. 4 1/4 yards. So you're talking about 1 yard for the feature and 1 1/4 yards for the background. And then, of course, you got the binding and backing. So that's one. And I know Sharon loves stars. Sharon loves stars. Wow. Yeah, Sharon, there's the she's doing a quilt along with this. That'll start in December. Hi, Whitney. Thanks for joining us tonight. Elba's incognito. What are you working on, Whitney? Whitney makes beautiful bags and beautiful. I've seen her some of her quilt blocks too, so she makes some really beautiful stuff. We like to see what everybody's making. That's one of the good things. Sharon, what did you think of my crackle fabric? Hey there. Whitney, I have to show you the crackle. This is our newest color. It's kind of a cream. It's got a little bit of sage. It's got some gold in it. It's coming off a little bit blue on the computer, but that's not blue. It's more of a sagey green. And then this, girl, this is my colors. I love blues and greens. If you were to see my house is in blues and greens. They're very soothing. As I told somebody, they said, your house is calm. And I said, you know why it's calm? It's the same color as a psych ward. If you've ever been into a hospital psych ward, they're always nice, soothing colors. They're not beige, they're not brown, they're usually blues and greens because they're calming to the nerves. So that can explain a lot about me, right? I can tell you a lot. I'm going to put this back. My next project for the shop, which I'm hoping to start this weekend, I'm actually going to be off this weekend, is the Groovy Garden one fabric kaleidoscope quilt. Let me take it out of here so you can see. Isn't this gorgeous? All of these beautiful blocks are made from the same fabric. It's all this border fabric right here. It's all in how you cut it and sew it together. You take 8 little triangles, sew them together, and you get those beautiful kaleidoscope blocks. So that's going to be the next one. It comes with the template and all the instructions. They're in color. So that's going to be my next one. And I'll show you the border fabric. Let me get that to show you. And if anyone's interested, we could do this as a sew-along. Look at the colors. Isn't it beautiful? You've got mauves, and you've got purples, and you've got blues, and you've got greens, and of course the black and white in there. This is like a burst of spring, summer. Yeah. I think this would be fun as a sew-along. If anybody's interested in that, we'll put the quilt kit together for you, $129, and we'll throw in the pattern for free. So you can get that. Yeah, Sharon, that's the one I wanted to make a deal with you on. We'll talk. I told Elba, but I think she forgot to pass the message along. But we'll talk about it, because I'd like to get this made for the shop, and then we'll put together the quilt kits. It's real easy. 2 fabrics, this and some black fabric, and that's all you need. It makes you've got the border, you got your blocks, you got your base, and then you put a quilt back on it. And I really think, look, you could put crackle on it, you could put a solid on it, you could do a floral. There's some black and white dot that goes with this. There's a butterfly that kind of matches this purple. There's several fabrics that are in this line. I try to keep them grouped together on the site. When you go under fabric, you can kind of see that they're grouped together, and I'll put the name of the group. This one is Groovy Garden, and you can see all the things that I have that goes with Groovy Garden. I did the same thing with the Patricia collection. I try to do the same thing with all the collections. So when you see it all bunched together, then you know, oh, that goes together. And if you need help, like specifically trying to match something, we're happy to help you with that. We're happy to do that. So, what do y'all think? You think you'd like to do this as a quilt along? Want to join me in any other quilt alongs? Remember too that I still have the SIY pillow pattern kit that's available. I can even make it out of fabrics from this collection if you would like. Um, they'll be coming out with the next project, I think, in December. The next project from SIY is going to be 2 shopping totes that you carry for like to the grocery store or go shopping, maybe at Walmart or someplace like that. You'll be able to fold them down very small, and they're reversible, so it makes them very usable to use for that. That'll be a good one. And you can go to sewityourself.com and you can see the different patterns that are available and some freebies. And you'll even see where some of the fabrics that I have here in the shop are featured on that site, along with Sew for Home. Good resource because it gives you a lot of tips of sewing. It gives you a lot of free projects to do, even little quick gifts. We know that gift giving season is coming around. People are always looking for something quick to make, that's simple to make, and that everybody will like. These little baskets made out of scraps are certainly very handy. You could use them in the bathroom. You could use them in the kitchen. Simple, simple, simple to make. You can make it out of 2 fat quarters. Something as simple as 2 fat quarters. And all different sizes. These are 2 different sizes, so you can kind of see. So if you're interested in any of that, we'll help you with that too. I have not finished my little belly bag. I've had job things going on, and I haven't had a lot of sewing time, and I was trying to catch up with that. You know, like I said, I get too many projects going. They talk about UFOs, unfinished objects. Well, I have lots of those. I call them UFPs, unfinished projects. I'm going to slowly get through them all, as at the same time trying to keep things fresh for here in the shop. So I want to get some quilts made for the shop so that you can see the patterns. Because I think when you see a pattern and you see it made up, it makes it a lot easier to say, oh, I can do that, or oh, I think that's too complicated, or oh, I love that and I want to try it. I'm of the opinion the worst thing that can happen is you have to do a lot of ripping out and become real good friends with Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper and I are real good friends. I started out really with this quilt, this block of the month quilt, doing a lot of ripping as I sewed. But I'm finding as I go on and on, the quality of my sewing is better. The quality of my cutting is better. It's more precise, and I'm doing a lot less ripping out. So just keep that in mind. Don't let a complicated project discourage you. Just know that you got to take your time, and you're going to make mistakes. And the cool thing about fabric, it's easy to correct a mistake. Or, like in this case, I actually made a mistake in putting this together. But because I had so many areas that had to meet up, I'm leaving it, and I'm calling it, like Bob Ross, my happy little accident. So, I've showed the block to several people. They didn't even realize that there was a mistake in there. So I'm just going to leave it. At the end of the day, a finished quilt is better than an unfinished one. And when you start ripping out on triangles and things that are cut on the bias, you could stretch it out. And my next time putting it together may not be as nice. I'm very happy with my points as they are. So I'm just going to leave it. So don't feel bad if you do the same thing. I've had other people that they do the same thing too. Hi, Connie. Thank you for joining us. I want to encourage everyone to go online. Look at the shop. Look around. Don't just land on that home page. Be sure to go up at the top and hit shop. And then over to the left-hand side, you will see where you can look at back quarters. You can look at patterns. It's filtered out. You can even go up and try to look by, you can filter by designer if you want to do that. We have Cave, we have In the Beginning, I have E Studios, I have Tula Pink, I have Riley Blake fabrics in the shop. There's just a lot of variety, and we are trying to grow. So help us grow by sharing. Um, I'm it. I mean, this is it. It's a very small business. It's run out of my home right now. We hope to grow one day and be a brick and mortar store, but I need help to grow. So be sure and share with everybody that you can. We appreciate it. Yeah, Sharon, you're right. Finished is better than perfect. Who said that? And believe it or not, I'm fixing to start another thing. Ready for this? I'm going to learn to free motion quilt. I have made up my mind. I'm going to learn to free motion quilt and do my own quilting. This one is going to wind up being too big. I have no place large enough to work on a quilt that size because it is the largest queen size quilt I've ever seen in my life. When you put it on a queen size bed, it goes down almost to the floor on both sides. So I really think that's probably more accurately a king size, but that's not the one I'm going to start with. I'm going to start on that very first rock candy that I'm working on, and then we'll graduate up from there. Yes, I've been watching Angela Walters, a lot of Angela Walters YouTube videos. I like when somebody shares their ups and downs, and you can see the progress even in her own work from the very beginning of her tutorials, and she just makes it really easy to look at. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. Does anybody have any questions or anything that they'd like to see? I'm being bellowed at, and I apologize for that. They're normally not allowed in here. That's my whiny little dog. Go. Go, night-night. Go. So no questions, nothing, nobody wants to see anything. Hopefully next week, Elba will be back with us, and we will put our little shop on tour a little bit more so that you can see things. Go online, and if you have any questions, feel free to, there's a phone number, you can call me. You can send me a message via Facebook Messenger. You can send us an email. We'll be happy to answer any of those questions. And if you want to know the exact color of something, I have got a really good eye for color. I can tell you what the base of the color is, and usually what colors they mix to come up with it, or give you as close as possible to the Pantone shade. That was a blessing. What's my favorite pattern right now? My favorite pattern right now, I think it's going to wind up being that kaleidoscope blocks. Anything that looks complicated but it's not, that has a lot of the angles. I like geometry, geometric shapes. So I think that's going to wind up being my favorite. The favorite thing I'm working on right now is that block of the month. And I would have to say I love the Julie Herman patterns because they're easy but look complicated. I think somewhere in her background she must have a mathematician background because all of her things have a lot of angles to them. A lot of triangles, a lot of diamond shapes, hexagons, and I'm kind of liking that. And if you want to know, the way that I'm getting really precise with my cutting is I use a lot of the Martelli tools. Martelli makes non-slip rulers. I don't know if you're aware of these. These are like the most awesome things ever. You cannot see through them, so you have to kind of really trust yourself. It's got a learning curve, but it's got this I don't know what this is. It's foaming, but it's non-slip. When you put it on the fabric, that ruler's not going anywhere. So once you get your fabric straightened out and you get this precisely on it, every cut you make with these are going to be perfect. They're going to be exactly whatever. These come in all different sizes. I'm not going to tell you that they're inexpensive because they're not. Martelli will put sales on. Usually around Thanksgiving, they'll have like 50% off of a lot of stuff. Last week was the International Quilt Market and Quilt Show. Well, they didn't have the market, but the quilt show. They put a lot of stuff on sale. And I was able to pick up a few things at that time. So I certainly encourage you, if you get sore wrist, arm, shoulder, anything like that, all of their stuff is ergonomic. So it's designed to be very comfortable. I even have this is not it, but in my sewing room, this is where I just kind of, if it's late at night and I want to sew, I come in here and do it. I even have their sewing chair, which has a lot of adjustments to it. It's very comfortable. For anybody that likes to sew for hours, you can sit in it for hours, and your butt doesn't hurt. Okay, we've been on for 30 minutes, and we don't like to go very long. So be sure and catch us next week. I will take you on a tour of the shop. I'll figure it out between now and next week, even if I have to do it on my phone, to walk you around so that you can see everything and can see our new things that are coming in. I always know they're coming in because they pre-authorize the credit card. So I'm expecting the black and white collection to come in. I have some really cute brights to go with it right now, even red. And I'll share that with you, okay? So thank you for joining me. It's the Fabric Sanity Live. Share with your peoples. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.